What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the AGM and everything that occurred at the Port Adelaide Football Club last night. It was a good night to talk about Port Adelaide in 2023, the financial results, the on-field results, and the plans for 2024, and talking about some of the other features that are coming with the club going forward into the future. It was a great night. As I said, it's obviously great to see so many members turn out. My first AGM I've ever been to, actually. It was quite a pretty informal insight into the football club, and obviously the Q&A with some fans as well afterwards was quite fascinating. So a lot to unpack, so let's get straight into it. And obviously we'll talk about the appointment of Warren Tredrea, who won the members-elect vote for 2024 and for his 3-year term, because it's going to be fantastic to see him on the board. So let's talk all about it and see what we can unfold and look forward to in 2024. So firstly, let's talk about the things I learnt from the AGM, and most importantly, we'll talk about Warren Tredrea first. Being appointed onto the board by a small margin, 199 votes between him and Bruce, was a fascinating vote. Obviously 2 weeks of not so much campaigning, but a lot of controversy and interesting stuff that occurred along the way. He ended up getting in, which was fantastic, I think, for all members. They got to voice their opinion. Over 10,000 people voted for Warren, not for Warren Tredrea, but as a whole, and which overall saw Warren Tredrea be elected, which is, I think pretty cool. I think he's going to have a big impact on the board, oversee, the football operations and the football side of things, and really provide, obviously being on that governance and providing good feedback and good knowledge from his past and what he can bring to the football club is something I don't think we've had on the board yet. And I think, whilst he won't have the on-field impact that we'll hopefully see from the 22, 23 blokes that take the field every week, at least he'll have an impact in that operational factor and seeing how that all pans out and overseeing all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Warren can do come this year and his next 3 years on term. So my congratulations to Warren Tredrea. Moving to a couple of other things I learnt from the AGM. Obviously we saw the financial side of things, and I'm not too much of a financial person and off-field person when it comes to that sort of stuff with Port Adelaide. Like, great to see that we have no AFL debt, we have no sample debt. It's just all debt with the, as they say, with the bank and stuff like that. It's good debt, as Koshi described at the AGM. It is a factor that I think over the last couple of years we've really been able to get out of that debt and really become a powerhouse in terms of financial stability. We got to see over the next couple of years that our revenue streams and everything from our key pillars, the retail sales and the ticket sales and the merchandise and memberships and advertising and obviously for the sponsorship and hospitality and everything that comes with the major factors to do with game day. Other thing I learned at the moment is the facilities that Port Adelaide are building ahead of the performance centre and MG High Performance Centre and then the stuff that's been going around and the redevelopments. The club looks amazing, and the club's going to look amazing. It's a fantastic thing to see a club in Alberton, with the brightest of lights in Adelaide. We're able to showcase what we are as a football club, keeping our history and rich history, while also having a modern redevelopment and becoming a key boutique stadium as well in the future. I think 10,000 people are going to be able to be seated around the joint, and it's just a fascinating thing to see and a good insight that what the club is planning, especially with the Bowls Club and everything as well. A lot of plans to go there too, but the club looks amazing at the moment, and obviously with Family Day and everything coming up, it's going to be a fascinating little tour and everything like that as well, and hopefully some content to come your way on that as well. So some nice things there on the off-field vicinity. In terms of on-field, we got the same sort of context, didn't we? 2023, happened. We've gone out. Reasons why we've gone out. We all know the public, pretty much what was said about, on the on-field performance and why we went out and got recruits and stuff like that has been publicly spoken anyway. So we didn't really get much more on that side of things. Chris Davies did state stuff about the reserves comp and how that's all panning out. Now, the key thing to remember here is this isn't about taking away the history of Port Adelaide and having a go at the Sandful. This is, if Port Adelaide want to be a part of this reserves comp, the AFL's got to come to the party here and say, look, we care about equalisation. We want equalisation. So we're going to have everyone in the reserves side. We're going to have a reserves competition. So I think the push there is definitely Port Adelaide having a few cards on their hand and really wanting that to occur for a reserve side, especially by the time Tasmania come into the competition. And the plan is to play all games at Alberton for the reserve side, all games at Alberton, and in the black and white, the wharf pylons, the prison bars, as people would know, to play in that and on the home strip there. So a lot of positive feedback on that as well from members and fans. And I think overall, and the other thing as well on top of that is this year Port Adelaide will wear the prison bar Guernsey come a home showdown again. So later in the year, we'll obviously play the Crows in a home showdown and get that opportunity to wear it on that day, which is fantastic. So a lovely bit of insight from the AGM, I think. Obviously a lot of things. The Q&A was very funny, I must admit. Obviously it was like a live reenactment of Facebook comments. That like people were shouting, people cheering, people liking, people laugh reacting. It was very heated towards the end. A lot of talk about AFL board members and obviously there was one member that stood up and spoke about Ken and everyone saying 11 years and everything like that. It was good to see the voices of members spoken. It was just great to see. Great to be a part of. Got to speak to Treaders afterwards, and he's very much looking forward to being on the board. I spoke to a few other board members as well, and I'm happy with how it looks off the field. Obviously, we want a premiership on the field, and that's something that we've got to strive to. Overall, my overall thoughts about this, and we got to speak to Zach Butters and Connor Rosie as well. The overall thoughts on this is we're in a good spot off the field. On the field, obviously we need to take that extra step, but financially and the stability of this football club is in the best place it's ever been. And it's now just got to be implemented on the field. And if Ken and his coaching panel and all the men and all the boys on the field can do that, I have no reason why 2024, 20 years since the premiership in 2004, why this can't be it again. It brings optimism, I think. And you see the club in a light differently to what just on-field members would see, off-field members would see, and how it is produced on the field. When you look at it and say, Port Adelaide, a stable football club. We've got great facilities. We've got, a very, very bright future in terms of on-field players and the leadership group, and the future of that is just going to be fantastic. So I think we're in a good spot. My optimism is a little bit higher now coming into this year, and hopefully we, as I said, are able to celebrate 2020. We're able to celebrate 2004 with the premiership in 2024. I'll leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, Port fans. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hopefully see you at Family Day. If not, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Plenty more Port Adelaide AFL content to come your way. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Anthony, and as always, come the pair.